Welcome in. So, okay, of course, my host pick would not complete unless I had the pressure cooker. And you know that we love this pressure cooker. My favorite one that we have here, the largest size that we have available in an 8-quart, and it comes from our friends at Elite. This thing is truly amazing. It's always been a customer pick on hsn.com. Hundreds and hundreds of 5-star reviews. It comes with a cookbook, but here's why you buy it. It's not the old school where, you know, you put the thing on, you lock it, and you kind of prepare for it to explode. No, not with this one. All built-in features, so it's safe to use. You can program this. It has 13 separate digital presets, so if you want to do beef, you want to do chicken, you want to do soups, you want to do rice, it'll do all that. All-day flavor, and this is my line, in a fraction of the time. It's like you cooked all day, but you do it 99% of the time in less than 30 minutes. That's how quick. If you buy it today, we dropped the price by $30 for Host Pick. We added 2 extra flexes, because normally it's on 3 flex. It's on 5 flex. You get this thing home for less than 20 bucks. $1,900 to go around. First come, first serve. Comes in blue, comes in red, comes in black. And Kelly Diedring is here, my best buddy. It's so good to see you. We have so much fun doing this. And
yes.
I know you love to cook, and I love to cook. And there are some days when I've got 6 or 7 hours to cook. Most days I don't.
I never have that, ever.
And that's why we love a pressure cooker. And it's so easy to use for everybody.
It's so easy. This is Elite. This is the #1 brand pressure cooker at HSN by far. Look at the reviews. Put us on mute if you want to. Over 800 reviews. I always look at the amount of reviews because if it's like 5-star and there's 2 reviews, well, what the heck? Over 800 reviews on this Elite pressure cooker.
And 587 are 5 stars. 587 said perfect, and everyone else was just under perfect.
Yeah.
They absolutely love this machine.
Well, the reason is we give you 13 functions that you don't have to know minutes or PSI or pressure points or how much does it weigh or is it frozen. Elite already does all of that inside the digital brain. So you literally choose the rice setting or you choose the pork setting or you choose the stew setting. You push the button and walk away. We've done all the guesswork. So all you need to know is what you want to eat for dinner.
Yep.
And of course, you know, you probably don't have that 6 to 7 hours to do 2 giant racks of ribs. Who doesn't love ribs?
Everybody, you know what, and I'm gonna do them tomorrow, and guess what? It's gonna take me about 6 to 8 hours to do them outside. You can do them in how long?
35 minutes.
35 minutes, and when you look at these ribs, let me just show you something. You see, come in here, Raph, come back here. Look at this. Okay, there's a bone.
Would you like to use a proper utensil?
Heck with it. Look at this. But these things are fall apart tender. Check it out. I mean, here, I'll just pull one out for you. But look at how beautiful. And if you want, you can, you can finish these off and brown them if you want under the oven, whatever. But the flavor is amazing. They are fork tender. Look at how gorgeous those things are.
They're gorgeous, they're juicy, they're tender, and they take a fraction of the time. My husband will do them in the pressure cooker for about 40 minutes, and then he'll do about 10 minutes on the grill because he just happens to love that grilled smoky flavor. You don't have to. You could cook them in beer. You could cook them in red wine, white wine, soda, whatever sauce that you want to trial. This is now your time because a pressure cooker needs a bit of liquid. We just do a little bit of broth, and I know Guy loves to do the French onion soup, but with a pressure cooker, now is your chance to experiment with flavors, and now is the chance really to do stuff you wouldn't have done in the past.
Yeah, and what I love too is that if you get home in a pinch, and Kelly's gonna show you something now that truly is unbelievable to me. You can actually make a meal. You can brown. This actually has a browning feature inside, so you can actually brown off your veggies, and you can make a meal with frozen food.
Totally frozen. So you don't have to thaw, you don't have to defrost. If you've forgotten the meat and you have that uh-oh moment and you get home and you're like, shoot, I probably should get fast food or order a pizza because I forgot to thaw the meat. Doesn't matter. You can see I'm browning inside here. So all you do is turn it to the on position. Your pot's gonna get hot, so you don't have to use another pot. All in one pot. Now, totally frozen chicken breast. We've all got chicken breast or steak or something inside of our freezer, totally frozen. Pop them inside here. Then here's the science behind pressure cooking. All you need is a little bit of liquid. So I'm gonna use some spicy marinara, but I like to use salsa. You could do broth.
You can put wine in there, whatever it is. This is the time to put all that, because remember, with pressure cooking, when the air has nowhere to go, normally it boils up, it boils out. When it has nowhere to go because it's sealed in there, it goes back in and it tenderizes the food, and it infuses the food with flavor. So if you have wine, the wine's gonna go into the chicken. The sauce flavor is gonna go into the chicken. That's why when you see us baking a chicken, and we put oranges and things, cloves and stuff like that in, that all infuses in a way you will not believe because the air has nowhere else to go. Anybody that loves pot roast, that loves corned beef and cabbage, there's no better way to cook it.
No,
better
that's
way.
absolutely right. There is, you know, look at the reviews. People say, I've never had food that tastes this good. If you go to a restaurant and you get a really juicy cut of meat or something that's infused with flavor, they've probably done it in a pressure cooker. So that's the difference, because everything gets infused inside. Now, Guy mentioned this isn't your grandmother's pressure cooker. If you have that memory where she cleared everybody out of the kitchen or the pressure cooker jiggled on the stove, that's not gonna happen. This is silent. It's very, very easy. All you do when you wanna cook is you just lock it into place. You can see all I did was I locked that lid on top. Then I put it up to here airtight. Now, that means it's gonna come up under pressure. Once it's up under pressure, you can see this valve right here. It pops up. Once it's under pressure, this lid absolutely will not open up. There's no jiggling, there's no noise, there's nothing. When you want to release the pressure, you just put it on the exhaust position. You'll hear the pressure releasing. It's that simple. If you forget, look, we've got pictures right up front.
Makes it simple, yeah.
It makes it easy. And then quickly, I want to go over the digital brain, because to me, this is the reason you buy Elite. This is the reason we're the #1 selling pressure cooker at HSN, because we give you all of these different functions: reheat, beans. Now you can see there's a time next to each one. Brown rice, white rice, wild grains, 25 minutes, stew in 18, poultry in 20, and that's from frozen, Guy, 20 minutes from frozen. We've got our pork and rib setting for 30, soup, beef, potatoes in 12 minutes, not an hour in the oven. Of course, you can do your desserts. And then my favorite setting, which is the vegetables and fish, is gonna be done in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and you can see how simple and easy it is. And that's what I love. You don't have to be, and I'll tilt it up so you can see a little bit. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to be a chef. You don't have to know how to cook. And you'll get the guaranteed results every single time, whether you're doing ribs or whether you're doing a pork shoulder and you want to do pulled pork, things like that. Because you're basically cooking, you're forcing air into the food, and the air is nowhere other place to go. It breaks down those tougher cuts of meat. So using the cheaper meats actually is more affordable for you, and the taste is even better.
Yeah, you're gonna get the cheaper cuts of meat, and they're gonna taste like the expensive ones. And that's really the truth. I mean, we wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. And here's another safety feature. Lid pops completely off, so you don't have to lean over a hot pressure cooker. But this is what we did earlier. Remember I put that chicken in for 20 minutes from frozen? Look what you get 20 minutes later. You're gonna get the most moist, juicy, tender chicken breast. Your family is literally going to be asking you, now, what are you doing differently? Because this tastes delicious. Look at how it just flakes apart.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's moist, delicious. You know what, too? The nutrients are still inside. You know when you cook on a stovetop or in an oven, your chicken dries out?
Yep.
You're losing nutrients.
And
you're losing minerals.
Right, and you have the sauce. You know, one of the hardest things for people to create is sauces. And what happens when you've got a pressure cooker is the sauce is made for you, because you're putting wine in there, you put garlic in there, you put rosemary, whatever spices you put in. And those all meld together, because remember, they have nowhere to go. You don't have to cook anything down. Everything is good when you open it up. And I'm telling you, you will flip out. The pork roast that you do, if you want to do a chicken inside here, you can do that. You want to do, a beef brisket, you can do things like that, and it comes out perfect every single time.
It does, and again, speaking to that, the less expensive cuts of meat, or maybe cuts of meat that you wouldn't have tried. You were worried that they might dry out. You've known that they're difficult to cook. That's what I love about the pressure cooker. It gives you confidence in the kitchen, where you might have not tried something before, you're gonna try it now, because it's just so much easier.
And you're gonna love it, and it's easy to do. Listen, guys, this is the best price we've ever done. It is less than $100. 5 payments. I've never seen it on a 5 flexible payment for less than a $20 bill. By the way, it comes with a bunch of recipes, but we also have a recipe book that comes along with it. I only brought in 1,900 of these, so if you want one, let us know what colors we have, and our producer Paul will keep us posted as to what's gonna sell out first. But red comes in blue, and it also comes in black. What else do you have inside?
Well, we just did our pork roast, and it's juicy and delicious. And the capacity on this, I love. You can feed 2 or 22. I mean, you can really do a giant meal if you want to. Now, this one is going to be our potatoes.
So listen, if you're gonna sit there and boil potatoes, you can boil them forever. But what's nice about this is they stay tender. You can't over or undercook these. They're cooked perfect every time. Am I mashing?
You're mashing.
All right.
Because they're gonna be soft and tender, and literally 20 minutes with 8 quarts of potatoes. Look what you get.
20 minutes. That's
it's so
quick.
easy. Now, you mentioned, yes, you can boil potatoes we're not reinventing it. Look how quick that is.
Look how fast.
We're not reinventing
it.
But now you can do it without tending to the stove top.
Yeah, take a look at our chart, by the way, and we're gonna pop that up. This is an idea of how much time you can save. So if you're doing ribs and pork, it's 30 minutes instead of hours. Beans, and I'm talking dry beans, you can do these in about 14 minutes. Look at this, beef, that's something that's really tough to do, you can do in 26. So if you're doing corned beef, think about doing a corned beef and cabbage in a half an hour. It takes me 3.5 to 4 hours to do it traditionally. Potatoes are quick. Veggies, fish is amazing. You want to do salmon in here, you can do it in about 5 minutes. Poultry, 20 minutes. I mean, when's the last time you threw a chicken in the oven and it took 20 minutes to cook? It just doesn't happen.
And then when it came out, it was dry. It was dry. It didn't taste as good. That's the thing. If you've ever shied away from pressure cooking, now's your chance to try it. I've never sold it at this price with this discounted shipping. But here's what I love: rice. How many of you have bought or are thinking about getting a pressure-based rice cooker? All of the finest restaurants in the world, they cook with a pressure-based rice system. That's because it's the best flavor, it's the best taste. It cooks rice to perfection. But those rice cookers only make rice. This pressure cooker, it has a function for white rice, brown rice, and wild rice. Each of them have a different time. So you're gonna be able to do your rice. How about your dried beans? I go to the health food store and I go to the wall of the dried goods and I buy for pennies on the dollar the beans, right? And then instead of having to soak them overnight, I pop them in the pressure cooker. For some of them, it depends on the bean, 20, 25 minutes from dry.
From dry beans, without soaking.
And I can infuse them with garlic or hot sauce or salsa or whatever I want.
And you can do 8 quarts of it. I mean, you can do 8 quarts, and you have to remember that. That's why I call this one of the best holiday gifts you'll give yourself. I have more friends and buddies that are watching that love this idea because even my friend Ian, who's runs one of the bars, a place I hang out, my buddies hang out there. He's always like, guy, and he loves to cook. He's like, but he doesn't know a lot about it. And he's like, I'd love to get a pressure cooker. And I'm like, it's perfect for you. It's perfect for newlyweds, people that are just starting out that don't know how to cook, or people that have issues with cooking certain things. I can't tell you how many times I've been to somebody's house for corned beef, and the corned beef is tough, and it's like, you just didn't cook it long enough.
No, I mean, and that's not how corned beef is supposed to be juicy.
Corned beef is supposed to be a little firm, but it's supposed to slice on the bias, and it's supposed to fall apart. And that's the way it is. If you've never had it like that, do a corned beef in here, put your beer in here, put a little liquid in here, and then put your seasoning packet, cover it, and in about 35 minutes, you have the most amazing corned beef. And then take the corned beef out, keep it warm, put your cabbage in there, put your carrots in the same water, and then cook those. You'd be amazed at how simple it is. One pot meal. But here's another thing. There's also keep warm on this. So if you want to put Swedish meatballs in here, or chicken wings, or something that you're going to serve your family over the holidays, or soup, or chili for football games, you can cook the chili and keep it warm all
And you have
thing.
8 quarts of it. And I mean, look at the cooking times again. You got ribs and pork in 30 minutes. Beans, 14 minutes. That's from dry. Beef, 26 minutes. Potatoes in about 12 minutes, not an hour in the oven. Vegetables and fish, my favorite setting, 5 minutes. And then chicken in 20 minutes. But I have to mention the veggies. Again, you know, Guy was just talking about the corned beef with the carrots and the cabbage. Pressure cooking your vegetables is the healthiest way to do your vegetables if you're not eating them raw. The reason that is because you're not losing the nutrients to evaporation. Even when you steam your vegetables, you're losing evaporation, which means you're losing vitamins, minerals, nutrients, taste, flavor. When you pressure cook them, the vitamins and minerals stay inside. There's nowhere else to go. And then you can infuse them with flavors you may not have tried. And that's what I love about pressure cooking. Again, it gives you that confidence in the kitchen that you didn't have before. I mean, how many times has your family, or has Danny been like, are we eating that again?
Yeah,
like my husband does that to me. He's like, are we doing that again? Our repertoire was like halted, right? And now with a pressure cooker, you try all the different things that you may not have tried.
Oh my gosh, look at this, look at the amount.
Now we did our health disclaimer, now we're gonna do our comfort foods.
Yeah, look at this, but look at how much mac and cheese. And you know what's funny too, what you gotta realize, gang, is that you can actually do it with dry noodles if you want. You can put the dry noodles in. Remember, you just need to put liquid in, and that'll cook it, because we've done that where you'll do a container of tomato sauce, a cup of wine, and just dry noodles, and you will get the most amazing result. And look at this. That's a giant bowl full. Look how much is in here. And remember, this whole container comes out. It's a little bit hot. That's not too bad. This whole container comes out, and you can either store that or you can wash it. A really easy thing to clean as well. So you're going to wind up using less dishes when you have this too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I just love the fact that you can be creative.
Yes.
And you cannot make a mistake. It's virtually impossible to burn anything in here because you never cook anything that long. Now, this is a great trick that Kelly uses. I want you to check this out.
I do. I put the sling around it before I cook the chicken, and that allows me to get it out easily. Because here's the thing. Your chicken is going to be so moist and juicy that it's literally going to be falling off of the bone. And that's how you want your chicken. You want it to have the flavor. You want it to have all of the moist, all of the nutrients. I mean, I can't express enough. You know, that's a healthier way to eat food. Just use a little.
I don't even have to. I'll use the back of the knife.
Use a fork.
I'm not even. I mean, I'm not even using the sharp part. And I want you to look inside. This meat is so beautifully tender, and everything, as I said before. Look at the bones just fall out. That's how tender it is. That's why we have to put this underneath it, because if you grabbed it with you know, a fork or a pair of tongs, it would fall to pieces, and that's how tender it is. All right, black is the most popular, followed by the red. Paul, what have I got, about maybe 15 or 100 of these things? That's about it. So if you want one, you want to make delicious infused food and food that has the most incredible flavor. You know, you can poach pears in here, put some red wine in, and put a dozen pears in there, and you're going to see that wine goes all the way through. Yeah. It's an amazing thing to watch.
You know what, Guy? It's a great gift. It's a really cool gift for that foodie on your list that you have no idea what to get them, but you know they haven't tried pressure cooking before. Because there's a lot of you that email us and you say, I was putting it off. I thought, oh my gosh, a pressure cooker that makes me nervous. This elite pressure cooker, we take all the guesswork out of it. It is so safe and simple. And the fact that all 13 functions are pre-programmed, you don't have to know PSI. You don't have to know if it's frozen or... You don't have to push a button and walk away.
Listen, you got to know how to put a lid on and hit a button. That's pretty much it. And then whatever you put in there, be fun, be creative, do what you want. Remember, you really can't hurt anything by putting wine or some seasonings in it. Just experiment a little bit. But boy, when it comes to doing things that a lot of people have classic recipes for and you feel kind of like left out, make chili in here. Make marinara sauce. Make like things that you know need to cook all day, and wait till you see the results. Now, this chili was just made and it's ready to go. In 3 days, 4 days, let this sit in a container. It's going to get better. It's going to get thicker. That's what's wonderful. But you don't have to spend 6 or 8 hours watching this thing all day. You put the lid on. You want to make stew. You brown the meat, put onions, carrots, a thing of French onion soup mix, and a cup of red wine and some water, and you close it.
And you walk away.
In less than an hour, you can feed 10 people.
Yeah, well, this is 18 minutes. Yeah. This chili was 18 minutes. We did 8 quarts of chili.
Top to bottom.
Can it in your pressure cooker. If you're a canner, you can can in the pressure cooker. If you have leftover chili, can it in your pressure cooker afterwards. Give it as gifts, your favorite recipes. But the thing Guy was mentioning about chili, you know how when we cook chili on the stovetop, we're always like, okay, 2 days later, it tastes the best? Chili from a pressure cooker tastes like next day chili instantly. Because of the pressurized system, all of the flavors have had that chance to marry and meld and get to know each other. And that tastes like next day chili the same day. So if you're an entertainer, if you're a hoster, or you go to somebody's house, bring the pressure cooker with you, do the pot of chili, and then do your dessert, which is what I'm about to get.
You're gonna absolutely love it, and I'll switch positions with you. So if you think about everything that we've made, we've done ribs and chicken and pork and potatoes and pasta and a whole roasted chicken and chili. We've saved some dessert for you because you can do cheesecakes in here. You can bake anything. Remember, it's going to stay nice and moist. It's not like microwave cooking. Don't get me wrong. What I call atomic cooking, which molecularly cooks from the inside. I mean, listen. I use my microwave for reheating coffee.
Right.
That's pretty much the only thing I ever use it for.
Melting butter.
Right. But this is the way to cook. And I'll tell you, it's a fraction of the time. It comes with the recipe book. So listen, there's only about 1,200 of these to go around left, and black will be the first to go, followed by red, and then followed by the blue. So continue to dial in, and remember, reduce shipping and handling for the show, and we never get to do it on 5 flex. Normally it's on 3. That's just for the block. So if you want a pressure cooker, now's the time to grab it, and you're gonna love it. Thank you, my dear, for coming in. You've been so great. I know you've been working hard.
I'm so glad you picked this.
And listen, I wanted you also to remind you, we've got all other kinds of great stuff going on. We've got our digital stores. We've got hsn.com that's got really cool stuff. In fact, check out the spotlight that we've got coming up and look at what we've got going on. And we're going to come back with more great stuff. I've got the Castro convertible and I've got that DeLonghi tower heater just around the corner. Stick around.